Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Nioh level 1 fist and knees build. We are Raoh the Conqueror. This is the legend of our fist, our enduring fist. And I'm running around, is it the battle for Sawayama, I think it's called? And that shortcut there I opened on the previous run, ran through this room, got past that Amrita beast, or Amrita fiend I think he's called, and then I shot it with my gun. So it enabled me to run directly through it so I could skip all of this. The problem with this level, on this particular run, is of course there's a lot of stuff to fight, so by the time you fought them all you don't have any damage left, which is unfortunate, but alas, it's how it works. These videos stand well for two reasons, I think. The first one is it gives you a nice path through the level if you don't want to partake in any of it. Then it will also give you a strategy against the boss that will work if you put a weapon in your hand, so it can help for those two reasons, but essentially it's a challenge run, so it's not really intended for that purpose. But the second thing is, hitting the shrine here is protected by a lot of people, and it's quite a long path to get back. It's one of those moments I didn't realise how dodgy it was until I couldn't just run and hit it and get a checkpoint. So what you're going to see here is you're going to see my initial run through this area, where I first get here and I start opening the doors, and then I realise there's a ton of enemies in the room with the shrine, and the shrine's not going to light until I kill them. And at that time I don't think I had the damage to kill them. So I'm going to show you just how bad this can get, because I've never seen so many of those coloured skulls in my life. And one of the mechanics in Nioh that I really don't like is this idea of regenerating, like, destructible objects. I can understand it's some kind of magic, and it's some kind of Deus Ex Machina for it to, to be actually quite a challenge. For instance, the Demon of Mount here, it has those crystals that rejuvenate to make them harder to break. And that's all good and well when they're balanced around where you are, but when you go to a Twilight mission that's like level 300 and you're level 1, you don't have the damage to fucking break it. You have to treat it like it's the hardest boss in the game. And I just don't feel like that's how they should function. Like, when your damage is lower than its regeneration, there's a problem with that to me. But I don't know how you fix it, because it's such an interesting choice to have this mechanic here. But do you see this room here full of those skulls? And full of that, there's one of those one-eyed Onis just chilling over there. So this is a bad room. There's a lot of people in this room. I didn't realise just how bad it was until I was here. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is bad. So there's going to be a transition of me coming back after I die, and then I'm going to hit the shrine, but I'm not too sure when it's going to take place, because as you are witnessing right now, did you see that, by the way? What happened there? The Amrita fiend went to throw something at me and he threw it behind him. That was great. I'm a big fan of whatever that was. Yeah, it would have been nice to fight this, but with the current setup, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. So I baited him away, tried to hit the shrine. The shrine's like, no. I hit that, like, yeah, I'm going to have to buff to even damage that. I don't have any fist talismans left, so I'm in a bit of a bind. And then when we go over here, I'm going to open another door, and through here I think there's a spider. That was nice of him. That was a door cancel. So if you get hit but it doesn't kill you, you can move, which is awesome. I wonder if you can do that with dodge, but I don't know if you can. But I've kind of resigned myself to dying in this section and coming back and using my talismans better, so I just feel like I was going to open up all the shortcuts, and that's exactly what this part of the video will be. So after the spider's gone, there's another one of the Amrita fiends, which they're interesting, those enemies, the evolved yokai with the crystals on them, because some of them fight just normal and they take forever to kill like your standard yokai would, but there's one of them that just breaks down and explodes, and it can be tricky, I find, to tell which, like, the characteristic that dictates which one does that. And I don't know if it's because I'm hitting them on a crit spot, and I'm not entirely sure which it is, or if it's just a very specific one, but at the moment I have a feeling about when they're going to do that, so that's kind of my only signifier with it. And it's usually when you knock them down, but you don't know why you knocked them down, because you perhaps didn't break their horn, and that's when you should get away from them, because if you don't, they just detonate and do incredible damage. But this should be the crossfade coming up. There it was. So back with the buffs, and not with a massive army challenging me, and I've broken all of the pots with with the skulls in them apparently. That was what I must have done on the previous run before I died. So then it's just me against this guy. And, I mean, they're an easy fight, but when you've got a room full of skulls pulling lock on and interrupting you, then it becomes awkward. But just hit him in the back, keep swinging, standard stuff. Be careful of the double thrust like that when he does the jumping hammer fist, because it has wicked range. It has a shockwave that's only really visible because of the dirt that it kicks up. Like, I wish it was a bit more clear with that. And that hook, that left hook, is the move that's going to kill you the most because it's the fastest. He also does the double jab that can have a triple jab, and if he triple jabs you, he'll kill you. And there's no signifying when he'll do that, because sometimes he doesn't, sometimes he does. Another one of those things I really disagree with. But we've hit the shrine now, folks, so we've got our checkpoint, and we can go and take on the samurai, the Dark Samurai, as it is in my localization. But this guy, I think, is called the Obsidian Samurai, which is essentially the same thing, but there was a change in localization. So what I wanted to do for this fella is I wanted to get him to do the fancy move so I could end him with a nice fancy move. So I start off with the parry on his axe, do great damage, and then we're going to proceed to hit him from behind while he buffs, because for some reason he buffs twice here. Due to the damage that I'm doing, it puts him into the threshold where he changes between his weapons. So the first one is a buff, the second one is a weapon swap, and all I want here is him to dash away and then come at me with the quick cut, because I know I can parry it. And I was hoping to kill him with the quick cut, but he's doing everything I don't want, and there it was. And then alas, he doesn't do the damage I need, so it's a bit unfortunate. So now I'm in an awkward spot of being like, that was my cool finisher, that was the end of the fight, and the bugger's still alive. And he comes again, and I do it again, and then we get him. So, cool fight, very quick, but once you understand how Obsidian works, he goes down real fast regardless of what build you're on, because you can do some incredible damage to him. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.